If you love something like the Hermes scent profile, then you must check out Basso. Hey, what's going on? Hunter here and welcome back to my channel. And if you are new, what I do is I make fragrance related content. So if you love fragrances, hit that subscribe button down below and also be sure to check out my Instagram page. But that's right guys, today I'm bringing you another Sospiro review, and that is of course of Basso. Now you might be familiar with the house of Sospiro because one fragrance in particular has been getting a ton of hype, and that is Vibrato, which is much deserved. One of the best new releases of all time that I've got my nose on, and I did actually review that one not too long ago. But today we are talking about one of its brothers, and that is Basso. I'm so excited to be bringing this one to you guys, and I don't think many reviewers have actually talked about this one as of yet. So I'm here today to bring this one to your attention. But first off, I do actually want to mention that this was sent out for review by the guys over at Sospiro International. I'll leave their link down below where you purchase this fragrance or anything from their entire catalog. And one quick thing I do also want to mention that I talked about in the Vibrato video is Sospiro has nothing to do with the house of zaharoff. I know they get kind of mixed up together, but Sospiro is actually a complete independent fragrance brand outside of zaharoff and have no connections whatsoever. So let's go over some information about Basso. Now this one was launched in 2022, so it is basically brand new at the time of this recording. Sospiro actually launched a complete new lineup of fragrances all in 2022, and this was one of them. Now for the retail price, on the only size they come in, which you see in hand is the 100 ml, is going to set you back $325. Now of course that is on the higher end side of perfumery, but at the end of the day you are getting the high quality ingredients, and this is niche perfumery at its finest. The concentration is an eau de parfum, so it is higher than obviously an eau de cologne or an eau de toilette, so you are getting that nice high concentrated perfume oils. And the perfumer behind this is the master perfumer Christian Provenzano, who actually created one of my favorite, or actually my favorite herbal cannabis fragrance of all time, and that is Fragrance du Bois Cannabis Blue. So he has some big name brands that he makes fragrances for and a huge resume. With all that information out of the way, let's go look at the packaging and presentation you get with Basso now. So taking a look at this beautiful looking box, of course you have Sospiro, and that is actually a butterfly, which is their emblem, which I think is very unique. Of course you get a bigger butterfly on top. On the bottom, you do have some of your information with your barcode and batch code to authenticate your product and see when it was produced. The 100 ml eau de parfum. On the back, you do have made in Italy. Of course, it is an Italian house. On the side is where your seal is. Of course, I cut mine to open it, which is obviously the nice velvet kind of interior where your fragrance is housed. But all in all, the box looks awesome. So let's look at the bottle now. Just look at this beautiful bottle. This just screams elegance with the green and gold accents. Of course, you have the gold plaque on the front with the Basso in green and the butterfly. Also the butterfly on top of the metal cap. Sospiro embossed on both sides of the cap as well, and also around the collar, which is a nice touch. On the bottom, you will have your sticker with your batch code also. And the cap is very heavy. This is probably like a gold-plated cap. It's very, very nice quality. Nothing on top of the atomizer, and the cap does hold in by friction, but it is very snug. At the top, you have grapefruit. In the mid, you have carnation, mayflower, and labdanum. And in the base, you have sandalwood, oak moss, vetiver, black pepper, nutmeg, pink pepper, cedar, celery seeds, galbanum, and gaiac wood. And this fragrance will be classified as a fresh spicy. So let's spray it and test out these atomizers. Decent atomizers. As you can see, this one does shoot pretty narrow though, but nothing really to complain about. And looking at that note breakdown, this is a very base heavy fragrance. So let's remind myself of this one. Right off the bat in the opening of Basso, I get one of the most tart, zesty grapefruits I've ever had the pleasure to get my nose on. Very, very tart, and it does resemble the grapefruit you find in Hermes, of course, which this one does share a similar DNA, but it's not identical at all. It definitely has its own unique characteristic. But that grapefruit will definitely remind you of Hermes, which is actually more so of an orange-based fragrance with that grapefruit in that one. This you get no orange whatsoever, just a zesty grapefruit. I love the fact that this comes across so natural, man. That grapefruit in here, It's mouth-watering, natural smelling, nothing synthetic, nothing piercing, nothing sharp about this like you find in Untitled, which I'm honestly not a fan of that fragrance. And when I got this one or knew about it, I was kind of worried that I might not like it because I heard it was similar to Untitled, but this one blows it out of the water. Way more smooth, way more luxurious and complex. So once we get our way into the mid of Basso, you do have a bunch of floral notes, of course, but it's not like your feminine florals. It's not white florals that make it powdery, which I can't stand. You actually get a very spicy carnation is what stands out the absolute most to me. Over that ladamon, over that mayflower, I get a burst of carnation. That brings in earthy spiciness to the fragrance alongside that grapefruit, which is still there and prominent. It just goes from that tart, zesty, juicy opening to sort of still that tartness along with the spiciness. Very awesome opening in mid so far. So I have to say right away, I know a lot of guys when you say floral, they're like, oh, I'm not gonna check that out, or no, I'm gonna pass on that because it has florals in it. Do not be scared of florals. It's not jasmine, it's not peonies, nothing like that. These florals in here still lean actually masculine. They're more masculine leaning florals in my opinion, like carnations of course. It's not gonna smell like your mother's floral fragrance or anything like that, so do not be afraid. This is actually a very masculine fragrance. Obviously we'll talk about that a little bit later on in the video, but I just have to say that right off the bat, extremely ultra masculine. So finally, when we make our way into the base of this one, you are gonna get that very earthy green oak moss note that does make it extremely masculine, slightly on the old school-ish vibe. However, it still does have a nice modernness to it. If you are a fan of those old school masculine oak moss heavy fragrances, this is one you're gonna wanna check out as well. This will suit you perfectly. But alongside that oak moss, you are gonna get a very peppery black pepper note. And what makes it very, very unique is its celery seeds. I haven't really seen celery seeds used in fragrances. It does kind of resemble what a celery vegetable actually smells like. So if you like the smell of that, which is a very acquired taste in my opinion that you don't see in fragrances or fragrances that smell like celery, but this one it does in that base, and that's why it makes it very, very green. Obviously, looking at the bottle, you are going to expect a green fragrance, and a green fragrance is basically what you get. Just an absolute stunning creation by the house of Sospiro. I was honestly really worried that Sospiro as a brand was going to be a one-hit wonder with vibrato. That's why after getting that one, fell in love with that fragrance. I had to check out others from this house and see if that was the case, which it's absolutely not. Basso is also a phenomenal fragrance that deserves the hype just like vibrato. Now let's talk about the best seasons and occasions. So this is honestly extremely versatile. You can wear this in the fall, winter, spring, and summer without any hesitation. Signature worthy 1000%. So if you're looking for a signature fragrance that you don't mind spending a little bit more money on, you're not gonna smell like anybody else, you're gonna smell high end, you're gonna smell luxurious, you're gonna get compliments, you're gonna smell masculine, Basso is one I would recommend you check out. And it's not so bad for a signature scent. If you only want one fragrance, at this price, it's not bad because this will last you a long time. And then when you need to obviously refill, you can just get another bottle of this and just wear it as a signature all year round. That goes to occasions as well. It's very versatile. It may lean slightly more on the formal side, but if you are wearing it as a signature, you can get away dressing it down easily without any problems. But if you aren't really wanting this as a signature scent, this is a great formal setting fragrance for weddings, for date nights, for an office setting, anything you have to dress up a little bit more than just, a t-shirt, jeans, and a hoodie. This is absolutely stunning for that kind of occasion. So touching on gender and age groups for Basso, to me, this is a very masculine creation. The most masculine from Sospiro that I've tried it so far, and I have tried about 5 of them. I think they were trying to make a masculine fragrance when they actually created this because that's how it comes across. There's nothing really feminine about it at all. When you smell this, it smells like a man pretty much. But I'd like to tell you, of course, just because I say it does lean masculine, if you're a woman watching this, you can without a doubt test it out, try it, and wear whatever you want. But to my nose, ultra masculine, ultra gentlemanly. Now for age groups, like I said a little bit earlier, it does lean a little bit more mature. It does have, of course, that old school meets modern take on a fragrance with the oak moss, which is a note you will find a ton in like maybe old school 80s and 90s men's targeted fragrances, and you definitely get that sort of vibe in here. but it is very much modernized and up to date to nowadays. So if you are a guy in like maybe your mid 20s, 30s, and even 40s and up, this is a perfect fragrance for you. There's nothing really playful or youthful about this scent profile that I can detect. It's kind of more like a businessman. Of course, wrapping things off, talking on the performance, what a lot of you guys always wait for and look forward to. This, I have to tell you, is above average, guys. I am very impressed with the performance of this and all these Sospiros I've tried. These are not weak fragrances at all, so you are getting your money's worth. I got easily 8+ hours of longevity on skin, even 10+ hours. So easily lasts you all day, all work shifts, no hesitation. Don't have to reapply it or anything along those lines. And also for projection, I don't know what Sospiro does, but they make their fragrances absolute beast mode, guys. These things scream off of the skin. Vibrato's even got me so many compliments from people far away from me, guys, and this one is no different. I got over an arm's length of projection. Like, projection is pretty much when you're just standing still, not moving, and the fragrance is projecting off your skin. Sillage is the fragrance projected off your skin as you move around. So obviously when you're stationary, this stuff screams off the skin for maybe 4 or so hours very heavily. In the scent trail, we don't even have to talk about, guys. You already know people are gonna smell you when you walk by them. I'm talking about a good distance. If someone's walking 10 feet even behind you, they will get a huge burst of Basso from your scent trail. Pretty much beast mode fragrances are what you're looking for, and that is the most important thing to you. This is one I promise you will not be disappointed about at all. But that's gonna do it for my review of Basso. Let me know down below if you tried this one, if you tried any from Sospiro, or if you're thinking about picking this one up, which I highly recommend checking this one out, guys. It's that good. But besides that, leave a like on the video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you guys haven't already. And I'll see all of you back here in my next video. Take care, everybody.